Morning. It is glorious down here. It's barely 9 o'clock on what we're at, 21st of June. It's a Friday. So I took the day off work because I was going to see Taylor Swift today. But, good father that I am, I have given my ticket to my daughter. So she's going in my stead, which means I've got a day off work. And it couldn't be better down here. I mean, it's going to get too hot, I reckon. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do down here today, but I think we might just go and have a look around, see what needs doing, and I'm going to bring a coffee with me. So let's go and see how things are looking. Haven't really done any sort of big work down here for a week or so now, so not sure what we'll find. Oh, just look at that sky. We haven't seen that sky in so long. Beautiful. Anyway, grass is getting a bit out of control again. So I will need to get the mower on this. I've actually bought a new battery strimmer as well, so I'll probably put that up this weekend so that I can deal with the edges and just neaten things up a little bit. As I've said, I don't like things too neat because the wildlife really appreciate a bit of unkemptness in your garden. Right, strawberry patch. Few there I can see that'll need harvesting. Might pick those later. They're really best picked when you've got a nice hot sunny day because the warmth of that sun really gets those sugars going, and they will never taste sweeter or better than when you've just picked them in the sun. Now this is that little bed where I planted the Chantilly carrots. There was some mixed lettuce, wasn't there? Some chard and some swede. I'm not really seeing. Aha. Carrot seedlings, anyone? I reckon so. Yeah, there's some more there. Good. Just seeing if I can see anything else coming up in this bed. I did think I saw perhaps some of the chard coming up the other day. Maybe that could be chard. I say that because there's another one kind of in line there. And that's how you know where your seeds are coming up, isn't it? Now, this is the bed where I took those first garlics out of. Those three there are elephant garlic. I've left them because they're still got quite a lot of greenery on them and not much rust. These onions are going to be ready pretty soon. Now that one's already flopped itself over, which I think is a sign that they're mature and ready to come out. The purple sprouting broccoli that I have put between the onions, looking pretty good. The pigeons haven't had it. Neither of the slugs. Excellent. The brassica bed under the netting, which I weeded out and fed last week. That broccoli head is coming on lovely. So is that one. Aha. They're all looking pretty good. Now this bed is going to get some attention today. It's quite a big bed and it's only got 9 raspberry plants in it. But clearly the grass is really taken off. There's a bit of horsetail in there. Some dock, couch grass. So I'm going to give that all a good weed. And then I think I'm going to plant in there some of the nasturtium plants that I've got, which are all in flower and going to waste really. Over here, I'm kind of hoping the sweet corn is going to take off a little bit more now that the weather seems to have turned for the better. There is some nice fresh green growth coming from the centre in most of them. So fingers crossed there. These were the Halloween pumpkins. Now, there's one just hanging on for dear life there. There's quite a lot of comfrey growing up next to it, which I'll try and get out today as well. And there's also one there which had pretty much been destroyed by the slugs, but might just be coming back. But it's going to be really delayed, so I'm not really expecting too much from them. This was all gem squash. Now, again, slugs have had it large on this plot, destroyed a lot of them and set back the rest, although that could be the weather, of course. Although there are some flowers coming, so we'll see. I'm not really sure about my potatoes this year. These are the second early Vivaldes. They're now yellowing. Now, like a fool, I did not make a note of the date that I planted any of my potatoes. It means I don't really know when to harvest them. So none of them are flowered. The foliage on all of them looks really stunted, to be honest. And now that they're going yellow, I don't know if they need a feed. I don't know if they're just coming to the end. I think today what I'm going to do actually is dig down into the first early buckets and see if there's anything ready to harvest. That might be the only way I'm going to get a sense of what's going on with the potatoes this year. Sort of redundant bed with a few lupins, which one coming through there and one coming through there. I think the slugs have had the others. Some more of those little gem lettuce and some kalettes doing well under this netted bed. Let's go and look at the tomatoes. Now, you might remember I put a liquid seaweed feed on the tomatoes a week or so ago because they were all yellowing. And this week, there was some nice green growth coming. So I'm quite hopeful that has done the job. It might, of course, just be that it's been less wet and a bit warmer. These are the leeks, looking all right, I think. The runner beans, not looking too bad. Still a bit yellowy, but they are growing. Starting to find the poles now. The dwarf French beans, again, a bit stunted, a bit yellow, but perhaps are going to start coming now it's a bit warmer. And another bed of the tomatoes. These are the Roma tomatoes. These potatoes in these beds are pink fir apple, which are a main crop, and I've never grown them, never even eaten them. But I saw lots of YouTubers recommending them. They seem to be doing okay, but they've got a little while to go yet. These onions under this net are Elsa Craig, which I grew from seed. These were sowed literally like Boxing Day, as is tradition for some allotment holders. And then these onions I'm very disappointed with. Mostly these are Red Baron sets, but they're pretty much all bolted with hardly any onion development. So not really expecting anything from there. These are Bedfordshire Champion I grew from seed. They're looking all right, I think. Here, a little mixed bed of some garlic. This is hardneck, Isle of Wight garlic, I think. And look at that. Really happy with that. I mean, I'm not sure how long to leave it for, really. It's quite exposed now, which means it won't be nice and blanched and white. But we might get that up soon and see how it tastes. Here, I've got my parsnips, which have done really well, actually. I'm really pleased with them. Pretty good germination, although it was the second sowing. Some more Isle of Wight garlic. Now, it's all yellowed. It's mainly rust rather than yellowing leaves, I think. I might just try and give them another couple of weeks. I'm not sure. Not sure. Same there. Some more little gems. Look at these cornflowers. Now, these cornflowers are actually all sown last autumn, and I overwintered them in the cold frame. So they are looking really spectacular. And the pollinators do love them. The broad beans. So we've had a few meals out of the broad beans. It's been good. They're probably coming to the end. I don't think there's any more flowers now. So there's a few smallish beans there which I've left to try and grow on a little bit. But they will they'll be vacating this bed, I'm sure, over the next week or so. And let's see if there's anything to go in there. So here we have the little herb pots. There's the mint, some sage, we've got thyme, chives and rosemary in there. I think everything probably needs good water. The sweet peas are starting to come on a bit. I've really neglected these calendula. I'm going to try and get some of them out today. They're obviously a bit dry and very thirsty. Some fuchsias though I need to find a home for. The nasturtiums I mentioned are looking great, but they need to come out of those pots. Spring onions, I've eaten quite a lot of these. And these 4 potato pots, these are the first early Pentland Javelin. The foliage hasn't really grown in weeks. It's now yellowing. I don't know what that means. I'm going to try and get in one of these buckets today and see what's what. Aha! So these are the carrots I planted about a week ago. These are called top something. I'll put it on the screen. Apparently they're Australia's favourite carrot, and they've grown quite quickly. They'll need a good water today. So in here, first new basil seedling coming up. These are cornflower seedlings. Excuse the lawnmower out there. These 3 or 4 are pumpkins. I'm just trying to grow them on so that they can go out and have a chance at life. Some chilies here. Can't remember what they are. I know that these ones are Zimbabwe black. They've actually got lovely little mauve flowers on them. All a bit dry. Now that purple sprouting that I'd neglected and left in the seed tray does look like it's coming on a bit. So when I vacated that bed with the rest of those onions, they'll be able to go in there. I sowed these cauliflowers a week or so ago. They're coming through. They're called Triumph. So I might have another brassica bed where the broad beans are going to come out of, for example. Aha, there's one lone fennel growing. I might actually just take the plastic cover off so that it doesn't get too hot. And these are the aubergines. Still nothing. Not aubergines, sorry. Asparagus. I'm not successful with asparagus. Some of these red bell peppers are coming on well. Getting quite big for quite small plants. The lemon tree, I'm not sure about the lemon tree. Still got a bit of leaf curl. Some of the leaves seem to have greened up. Some are looking a bit yellow again. I am feeding it every other watering with a citrus feed. So we'll see. Aha. There's a flower on that cucumber. Now, having not grown cucumbers before, I do think there's something I need to look at regarding removing male flowers, because if the male flowers pollinate the female flowers, and the cucumbers will be bitter. Anybody know anything about that? I'm going to have to look that up. And the 4 aubergine plants looking all right, I guess. What happened with that flower? That... Aha! There does seem to be a little white fruit in there. Now, that was a white flower. You might have seen my short on that. Oh, and that flower's just come away completely. So I'm assuming no fruit in there. So I don't know whether that will be a white aubergine, given that it was from a white flower. There's a little flower there. Now this is interesting. Well, maybe not interesting, but quite fun. So these are the little gem lettuce that I cut off because they all bolted and gone to seed. And I didn't take the root up, I just cut them off at the stems, and it's regrowing from the stem. So that might actually give me some nice fresh lettuce leaves. Right, I think what I'm going to do is delve around into one of these potato buckets and see if there's anything there worth coming out. Well, I'm not sure if you can actually see anything because I can't see what's on the screen at the moment with the sun. I'm just going to take some of this stalk off, and you see the compost. Oh, okay. It's going to say the compost is really kind of firm, and we have a potato, which is a decent size for a new potato. So now what I'm going to do, because everyone online is saying you don't need to wait for the greens to die back for these earlies, and sometimes they never flower. That is a lovely new potato though, lovely skin. So I'm going to, I think, empty this bucket now into the wheelbarrow and see if we've got a harvest of potatoes for meals this weekend. Now, I'm not sure how much of this you can actually see, but I'm literally just going to empty this bucket into the barrow and see what we've got. Okay. I mean, this compost is, I have to say, I'm not sure I'd use it again for primary plant growing. It really feels like it needs another few months of composting before being used. Okay, there's a couple of spuds here. Another one there. Some smallish ones there. I'm just going to pop them in this tray as I find them. I mean, it may be that we have a few, but we could have had more, so I might just leave the other buckets because that one's fairly small. That I think must be one of the seed potatoes. Yeah, so there's a few. That's another decent sized one. I think there's probably a few more babies that could have grown on a bit in here, so I shan't earth up any more. But at least now I know. Probably need a few more weeks to let some of the others swell. There's one there, and one there. And the compost it's moist, but it's really, yeah, really quite solid. I'm actually surprised any potatoes have grown in here. You live and learn, so next year I think I will do things differently. I think I'll still grow in buckets, but I'll use a better growing medium, I'm sure. It's full of worms, however. Yeah, so not a great harvest from one bucket. There are a few more babies to come that would have come on, I think. I mean, there's enough for a meal for a couple of us, but I shall leave the others for a few more weeks and see where we're at. So curiosity got the better of me a bit there, but while I'm down this end of the plot, I've just noted the blowaway greenhouse with all those tomatoes that I've not checked in a little while. So let's see what's going on in there. So it is incredibly hot and humid in here, like ridiculously so, because I haven't actually opened it up at all. They're looking all right. My glasses have literally steamed up as I've come in here, so I can't really see much. I do notice some tomatoes on there though. Some side shoot pinching out needs to be done, and I probably do need to get in here with a hose. So I will get on and do that as well today. Right, what to do first? I think the first thing I'm going to do is weed that raspberry bed, get that couch grass out, perhaps get some of these calendulas and nasturtiums in there, just so that they don't live their whole life in little pots starving. If anybody knows what these purple flowers are, could you let me know? Not the cornflowers. These purple things they're all around the pond actually. They're the only flowers that grew out of lots of wild flower seed mix I scattered around before the grass had grown. So they're a native wild flower, but I do not know what that's called. Now, the only saving grace actually about weeding this bed is that it's a bed filled with nice friable loose compost, so things come out quite easily. I've been thinking about those yellowing leaves on those potatoes, and there are some brown splodges as well. So now I'm just wondering, really, actually, whether they've got blight. I don't know, it's too early to take them up anyway, so I'm just going to leave them for a few weeks and see. But I'm not very hopeful, actually, if it is blight, of getting any potato harvest at all, really. Oh well, so I have weeded that raspberry bed, I have planted some nasturtiums amongst it, I have planted some calendulas amongst the tomatoes and got them out, just to give them a bit of a chance at life. I have watered all of the potato pots, I've watered the greenhouse, I've watered the tomatoes and the tomatoes in the blow-away greenhouse. And I think I'm probably just about done for today, really. I do need to get down here this weekend and trim the grass. It is getting a little bit out of control. And I don't mind the look of it, and the wildlife, I mean, it's good for the wildlife, but a lot of the grass is now going to seed, and that seed will blow across other plots. So I do think I probably just need to do my bit there, given that it isn't an actual wildlife reserve and it is an allotment site. So yeah, I think that's probably about it. I might just see if there are any strawberries to harvest before I go home. But otherwise, yeah, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.